meters, speed 800 kilometers.
Right now they'll be squawking hijack in 1 minute. Превышение. The aircraft that we're on right now is simulating a Boeing 757 that we suspect has been hijacked because the aircrew squawked a hijack code on their transponder shortly after takeoff. And at that time, the Federal Aviation Administration requested DoD assistance, and the Alaskan region of the North American Aerospace Defense Command used its assets to intercept and monitor the aircraft. And we just saw 2 F-22s flying off our wings as part of the process of intercepting us and investigating us. No, it's a watershed moment, you could almost argue. We spent decades in the Cold War as adversaries. So at this point in our relationships, we're moving from a period of confrontation to a period of cooperation. For example, if I had been told 20, 25 years ago, I'd be sitting on a U.S. registered airplane with a Russian colonel as my counterpart going over through Russian airspace on this exercise, I would have thought you were crazy.
Я считаю, что такой день должен был наступить, но, возможно, не я, а кто-то из представителей наших вооруженных сил должен был бы находиться вместе для того, чтобы отрабатывать наше взаимодействие. Мы должны были к этому прийти.
The first pair of fighters that we saw shortly after handover was passed over to the Russians with their 850 mainstay command and control aircraft that we never saw because it was outside of our visual range, were 2 Su-27 Sukhoi-built fighters, modern state-of-the-art Russian fighters that did a standard intercept from astern the aircraft, came up on the wing so they could see into our cockpit, see into our windows, and we too could see them. And they stayed with us at a safe distance for about an hour and a half. I think any time that we increase our cooperation, our coordination, we harden ourselves against further events. If, for example, we make it harder for terrorists to do us harm, they'll choose either not to do us harm or they'll look for other more difficult manners or other ways of approaching us. So by hardening this target set, in other words, by cooperating with the Russians and sharing information and they with us, we will decrease the incidence of air terrorism and the likelihood of air terrorism. And in the event of an example of air terrorism, we'll have greater partnership to be able to prosecute that threat.